'Tis an elephant.
Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, 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 everyone. Hopefully, you can hear me okay. I almost didn't come live tonight. Let me tell you, almost did not come live because I'm just not, I'm starting to get like a headache and feeling kind of like lethargic and body achy. But we are going to get through this. This is all about the new moon, child, the new moon, and the solar eclipse that is happening on December 3rd / December the 4th. I've got my tea here, and we're going to be sipping on the teas and talking about the tea. So, first of all, like I said, I want to welcome you to the channel or to the Facebooks or to the Instagrams, wherever you are watching this. So, please consider liking, subscribing, or following and sharing if we give you some information that is interesting to you and is worthwhile. So, I'm going to close this out. I don't know why this doesn't work. I want to welcome you guys here. I have a lot of information to go over. So what we may end up doing is I may end up putting like something up that's going to say part 1, and then they'll put another graphic up that's going to say part 2 in case I decide to split these up, because this is going to be a hot second. So let's jump right into part 1. Hopefully that's what I'm showing. Part 1. In this first part, I'm going to be strictly dealing with the moon and the sun. Okay. I'll strictly deal with that as much as possible. I'm going to keep to that and the solar eclipse portion of it. And then what we're going to do, and depending upon how far we get with that, we're going to then talk about the other players in this part 2. But you guys are going to get the whole thing all put together in one fell swoop. I am so sorry. I was up till way too late last night doing some things. And so I'm paying the price. I've been up late for the last, I don't know, 4 or 5 nights in a row. So it doesn't help. Okay, so we're going to talk about the sun and the moon in this particular one and the aspects that the sun and the moon are making with other planets. And then we're going to then also, I've got a ton of notes, as you can see here, and I put them all separate just so that I could really get into some things on this level. Yep, we're going to pull these out. Okay. And we're going to talk about solar eclipses, what that tends to mean, and what this particular solar eclipse means for us. Now, if I am not mistaken, and someone will correct me if I'm wrong, I believe that this solar eclipse, hold on. Let's see. Let's ask Google. What degree of Sagittarius is the galactic center?
According to Beyond Binary Wiki, fandom, this point currently resides around the 27th degree of Sagittarius and corresponds to the center of the Milky Way galaxy. the most abundant source of gravitational energy in the galaxy and analogous to our sun's own sun.
Okay, actually, that's a good thing. So there you have it, 27th degree. So it's not quite, let me put it this way. This happening at about 12 degrees Sagittarius is not quite right to the 27th degree or the where it would be conjunct the center of the galaxy. Okay. However, it's going to be impacting, like there's going to be this kind of ebb and flow of very strong Sagittarian energy that is occurring all the while through the entire lunation cycle, that being the new moon in Sag and then the full moon in Gemini. Okay. There's a lot. In fact, the full moon in Gemini will be right about at the galactic center, which will be very interesting. So I will say the midpoint or the climax of this entire lunation cycle in a couple of weeks, where there'll be some more eclipses and lots of things happening, is going to be happening right at the galactic center, which, as you just heard Google tell us, is like the strongest gravitational pull. So Sagittarius, even though it's a fire sign, because the galactic center resides within, can be a very powerful manifestation, realization, actualization, alchemical sign to operate in. It's a sign of confidence. It can also be a sign of, oh, I'm not too sure. Like, I think that was a good idea, but I'm going to run off now. It's a sign of curiosity. Jupiter rules it, rules this sign. So Jupiter is very much a gift giver, right? Very, very much a gift giver. And so Sagittarians and the Sagittarian energy is very giving. It's very fun loving. It's very curious. It can be, it's very confident. It can be quite ambitious. Sometimes it can have a tad bit of narcissistic tendencies to it, though. That's the dark side. It can be overly confident. It can be reckless all at the same time. It is very optimistic and it is very active. So, what you're finding, I'm pretty sure, as we're coming, we're already in Sag season. It's well underway. Happy birthday, Sag. It's well underway. Now we're nearing the midpoint, and here we have this like amazing event happening within Sagittarius. Now, what we have happening here is, right, this solar eclipse, new moon, that is also conjunct Mercury, and we're going to discuss that a little bit as well. That mercurial conjunction, even though it's moving away, right? So it's not applying, it's waning, but there's still some leftover. There's going to be some leftover residual. Um, I'm so sorry. Leftover residual energy from it in the way of wanting to communicate, in the way of your thought, your intellect, your thought process as we're moving into, because right now, Mercury is like over in this general vicinity, right? It scoots around pretty fast. So it's like right around here. So it's becoming into this application, right? Towards this conjunction. And so Mercury is, of course, the ruler of Gemini, communicative intellect. If you were born at the height, that's when the zenith, the most potent portion of the new moon, this is what your birth chart would look like. And so you would have all of this happening in your third house, in the house of Gemini. So Mercury is at home, And what this says to me immediately, with all of this activity going on in the third house, this is definitely the opportunity for us to change our minds. This is the opportunity for us to decide. This is the opportunity for us to decide what we're going to do. Are we going to follow our gut? Are we going to be confident? Are we going to be ambitious? Are we going to step into purpose? It is an energy of pushing us outside of our comfort zone. Okay. The solar eclipse makes this, the fact that it is indeed a solar eclipse all at the same time. All at the same time of this being a new moon, that makes it just that much more absolutely intense. Bear with me one second, because we are not in it. Come on, babe. You can't be up here. There you go. It makes it just that more intense. And this a solar eclipse energy, when the moon eclipses the sun, rather, right, when the moon eclipses the sun, and from our point of view here on earth, the sun is blacked out. It is this intensive energy, right? The sun representing our solar plexus, our power, our ego, our id, who we are at the base of our being. That being blacked out, even just for a moment, but it's during the day, because this all, like, when this happens, this new moon, when it's completely conjunct, is like, well, I guess it's 1:47. Is it AM or PM? I have to look at this again. Bear with me one second. Hey, Eastern Star, how are you? Let me look at this. Hold on. I'm guessing that's in the morning. So it's like overnight, right? Like in the morning time. When it's at its zenith, at its like strongest. Okay. Um, that is intense energy to not be able to basically see yourself, to just not be able to like really see very clearly what you thought you've been made of all this time. It's being blocked out by what? By your emotions, by the moon, by your emotions, by the energy you set in motion. So instead of it being the other way around, where typically it's just, oh, yeah, well, can't see the moon because the sun, you know, is blocking it. The solar eclipse situation is basically like the moon saying, okay, cool. Well, guess what? I'm going to block out all your ego. I'm going to block out all the things that you've been taught, all the programs that have been put inside of you, all of this garbage. I'm going to block it out. And we're going to go with the emotion. How about that? We're going to go with how we feel. And I'm going to influence Mercury. I'm going to influence the thought process. I'm going to influence the intellect, right? I'm going to take that over real quick. And I've been sitting around waiting, right? But now we're going to move with confidence, with curiosity, with ambition, with optimism. And we're going to get this party started. I want to also caution you on the fact, though, our actions carry more consequences during solar eclipses. During this season, during this moment, during this time period, our actions carry much deeper, much deeper consequences than before, right? So be careful what you're setting into motion. Be careful what you wish for. It just might come true. Um, the aspects to Mercury, so the sun's aspect, i.e. conjunct to Mercury, um, gives us strategic insight for work, career, and finances, especially in relationship to service to the greater good. Because of this aspect of the solar, of the new moon, it's, as you can see, it is sextiling Saturn while it's conjunct, right, Mercury. So that is in really good cousin agreement. Like the cousins came together and said, "Hey, which is also in the fourth house in this interpretation. So this is saying, hey, I think this is a fantastic idea. Like, let's do things for the greater good that's going to be in fourth house energy, internalized not only just for the global greater good, but on a very personal home life level. Okay. So, what's good for you to do yourself, right? To support yourself, to business wise, whatever, right? Entrepreneurial, going back to school, doing whatever it is you're supposed to do. And that's going to also be great for the greater good. This is a time for you to focus on the positive aspects of life to benefit from the positive. In other words, send out your positive polarities, send out your positive energies in order to benefit from it. Also, there's an expression, understanding of ourselves in these areas, in the areas of insight to work, career, and finances. Okay? Work, career, finance. What Saturn rules over? Mercury as well, to a degree. All right? This Sagittarius energy is a push, a jumpstart. It is a call to action. We've been having a number of call to actions over the last year, over the last 6 months. I feel like it's a broken record. All the time I'm saying call to action, call to action, call to action, call to action. Okay. I don't know how many more calls to action we're going to have because we're in December now at this point. Okay. And 2022 is a 6 year. It's a year of balance. It is a year of giving. It is a year of abundance. It is a year of man. It is the year of man finally understanding, standing in their own divinity. It is an awakening year. This is a challenging year. Technically, the challenging year is not over until April, according to the, astrological charts. But for all you Gregorians, we're just going to put it there. Eclipses often give us insight into changes. They give us insight into external changes. Why did something happen the way that it did? Who caused that to happen the way that it did? What was their ulterior motive? Why would they do such a thing? Why have I allowed these things to happen? External changes, changes I need to make, that you need to make, things that are outside of us. Okay? Things that are outside of us, that are temporal and they're changeable. It forces us to exercise flexibility, faith, and willpower. However, be careful that you don't get frustrated because things aren't happening the way that you would like for them to. Don't get frustrated. And I can find myself right now, I feel frustrated in a lot of areas. I tend to start to feel the effects of the lunation cycles a day or two at least prior to them actually occurring. So this isn't anything abnormal. I'm glad I'm making this video so that I understand why I've been feeling this way. I'm agitated. I'm like, things are not happening as quickly as I'd like for them to. Things aren't moving as quickly as I'd like for them to. I don't feel like I can get stuff done as much as I need to. Like, right. So I've got, like things are just not happening. People aren't talking, people aren't picking up phones, or people aren't, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh, my cat's like really enamored because there was a fuzzy. You know what I'm saying? Just like, waiting for this person to get back to you, or waiting for that person to get back to you about this or that or the third. And people are waiting for me, for God's sake. And I know people are just like, what is wrong with this broad? They're waiting for me to get stuff done and I haven't gotten it done. It's like there's not enough days in the, hours in the day and I'm not getting enough sleep. And so I'm agitated. This can leave you with Mars sitting here as well, still sitting here in Scorpio, and we're going to get to Mars in just a minute. That can just agitate you anyway because you're always looking for like the other shoe to drop, or you're just convinced that there's something hidden behind the curtain there, and for God's sake, and don't and oh my gosh, and the South Node's about to head into freaking Scorpio. God bless us all. Don't eat that. Don't do that. You'll electrocute yourself. She's trying to chew on a plug. Anyway, But what's interesting too is that Saturn in Aquarius, although it's like second home, it ruled, I shouldn't say second home, because it ruled Aquarius until the discovery of Uranus, right? For quite some time. So it's equally as home in Aquarius as it is in Capricorn, even though they have very, very different energies, that it can get a little agitated in there. Because even though Saturn is like very structured, in Aquarius it allows itself to be a little bit more free thinking. And in Aquarius it likes to be a little bit more avant-garde. In Aquarius it likes to see things done a little bit faster and with, still precision, but just done more quickly. And then you have all of this energy in Sagittarius that's trying to speed us up. That's like, girl, you ain't got time. Like, if you don't get moving and you don't stop playing with everybody else's emotions and yourself, your own, like, seriously. There's a couple other ones that I wanted to discuss. The sun here, sun and the moon. I don't know why I didn't print that one out. Okay, the sun and the moon are squaring Neptune, which, by the way, if you haven't noticed, will be finally out of retrograde. Hello. So if you haven't noticed, like this like relief of it feels like, okay, I thought we were in the freaking twilight zone and people just were not understanding what was really going on and you were seeing all this stuff, but people weren't getting it. People are going to start getting it now. So what this does is it does two things. It allows in Pisces, and it's still in the last decan of Pisces, Neptune is, and its home planet. It's in the sixth house here, so that would be the house of Virgo. Um, it doesn't surprise me that there have been other variants that were discovered. Although I'm not still sure how they can tell the difference yet, because I wasn't aware that. Anyway, but so there's that. Um, that doesn't surprise me at all. It doesn't. We're gonna hear about. In fact, I've been hearing a lot of different like weird like health discussions. Like I read an article today that I'm recording it on the 1st of December, that now they're saying that people are getting the mumps even though they got the MMR shots, right? The measles, mumps, rubella. So right, so they're trying to say, well, right. So I don't know when children all of a sudden started getting mumps when they got the MMRs. Like, that doesn't make any sense. But anyway, so all these different like weird things are I can see happening. I can also see where we're getting like down to the nitty-gritty and the what is the truth behind motivations by people all over. I'm hearing different names being brought up, like in specific jury trials, that you're like, okay, well, I thought you weren't involved, So, we'll find out, truth or not. We'll find out why. We'll find out why. There's going to be a lot of whys. What also, though, is good for you and I as individuals, then as a collective that's of a higher consciousness, this also brings us very strategic, wonderful, beautiful clarity on the dream. So if the dream has been foggy, now Neptune is going direct. The dream should be very crystal clear at this point. Not only that, you're going to be like, oh my gosh, I've got to do it. I can't wait. I got to do it now. This must happen. And you're going to be like, okay, let's take this step, and this step. But what I don't want you to do is feel like you need to control the whole process. Sun sextile Saturn. I don't want you to feel like you need to control the whole process. You are going to feel like restructuring and rebuilding every foundational aspect of your life. That's just normal. Now, by being in Aquarius, it's going to be in the areas of technology or groupthink or group interaction or what's for the greater good or whatnot and what you're doing. If you've been struggling with obstacles or struggling with the ability to overcome obstacles, um this is a great time for you to kind of have your comeback after your setback, okay? Because you'll be able to really start in on a restructure, a restorative, a restoration, a rebuild, oh my gosh, a reboot, right? This is what you can do, right? Um, you're going to be making progress towards a goal. For some of you that you've already been working towards a goal and developing it. Um, hold on. I'm so not kidding. For some of you that are not like that haven't been able to like reach a goal, this is really going to allow you to kind of like make that comeback, put in like new technologies that you've not up until now thought, oh, I could use this. You're going to be able to know what to use. Okay. If you've needed help at all, or you've needed to create supportive networks, this is your time to do so. The sun sextiling Saturn is like saying, where's your tribe? Okay, there's your tribe. It's time for you to join your tribe and not like put yourself off in the corner and not really interact with them, because those relationships are really going to be able to assist you, right, and help you move forward rather than holding you back. That's going to be kind of like the same deal with the moon in Sag and in sextile with Saturn. Like it's going to be like this really cool love fest, touchy feely kind of, not in a bad way, but it's going to be this like loving, bring back that love and feeling, right? Oh, that love and feeling. Bring back that love and feeling, right? Okay. Anyway, so bring it back. Okay, so just bring it on back. So you're gonna be, yeah, right. You're gonna be like kind of nostalgic about the whole situation or whatever, whatever. And also you're finally gonna feel like so confident in those dreams that have been like hanging around in Pisces and in Neptune that you thought were completely impossible. And now you realize it's in your best interest and for your overall health and wellness for you to actually embark on them. Da, 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 da. You're going to be able to focus a little bit better. So, as you're coming up into these next few days, once we get over being angry at everything in the world, let's try to focus. So, I have full belief that we're actually going to be able that I'll be able to focus. Thank God. Pray for me. You're gonna be able to focus a little bit better on like kind of settle your emotions down and settle yourself and really just kind of move forward. I would also look on the global scale. I think things are gonna kind of start calming down. Um, there's a lot of rhetoric and things that's being spewed everywhere, and I would look for after this, like it's not going to be clear to you that it's complete rhetoric for some of you at the new moon, but I would look between the new moon and the full moon portion of this cycle for it to really become crystal clear. Like it's going to be amazingly crystal clear. Okay. Um especially when Venus goes retrograde in Capricorn there. Right now, down here, Venus is conjunct, and we'll talk about her in part 2. But Venus and Pluto, right, are conjunct one another. And down in Capricorn, and Venus is about to go retrograde. Whenever Venus goes retrograde, right, we kind of we don't choose to continue to see the beauty in everything, and we can finally see things at face value. So I feel like this now again, the moon, sun, and Mercury all squaring up against Neptune is definitely one of those like I'm challenging a status quo at the same time I'm wanting to shoot for my dreams. At the same time, I'm really peeping game that you've been like holding me back all this time. You've been might not have been telling me the truth. So there's a lot of that type of energy that's really going on at this point. And what's weird with this solar eclipse and new moon, a lot of times I'll have multiple, aspects. Oh, the sun's here, the moon's here. We don't. Like the sun and the moon are really only interacting pretty much with 2 planets, Neptune and Saturn. Well, 3 planets, Mercury. That kind of says to me the sun and the moon is basically saying, this is the energy we've got. Listen, we got big thoughts, big dreams, right? And a big something something sedan, right? Um, but it's time for you to poop or get off the pot. And we're going to show you all the lies that have been told to you before. We're going to show you, we're going to give you the peek behind the curtain. We're going to give you the confidence to step out and do something new and, bring something to the game. And we're going to show you that this is for the world's, the betterment of humanity. But we can't force you to do a darn thing. Okay. So therefore, we're not gonna. We're just not gonna force it. But we're gonna show you everything you need to know. And it's honest to goodness up to you whether or not you're gonna, go along with the program. Okay. So it's really, what are you doing? How are you doing it? Why are you doing it? Are you gonna believe in yourself? And it's okay, it's time for you to actually take action. Like literally take some action. A big brown Mercedes sedan. Thank you. So it's time for you to take action, right? And do what you need to do. All right. All right. So, oh, Joy had to leave. Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry. I was over there just yammering. I didn't see all this. Uh, yeah, Eastern Star. Oh, that's so big stuff happening here in Melbourne. Oh my gosh, fighting for our freedoms, hanging in there. Yes, yes. Before I forget, um, come on. We are having, and we're gonna move into part 2 here in just a second. We are having a prayer meeting. An old-fashioned prayer meeting, y'all, this Saturday. It's old-fashioned, but it's virtual. So this Saturday, December the 4th at 1:15 p.m. Central in the afternoon. That's 2:15 Eastern, 12:15 Mountain, 11:15 a.m. Pacific, 7:15 p.m. in England. So GMT, I think that is. CET is 8:15 p.m. Hey, I'm doing good. I don't know what time it'd be in Melbourne. Anyway, I'm calling all women folk together. If you're balanced in your divine femininity and masculinity, okay, Jem, I'll let you out. Um, then yeah, but I really want women. I want divine feminine energy there. I want us to come together no matter what our skin color is, what our spirituality is, what I don't care. I don't care how old you are. I don't care. I want you to come together with us. I don't care what religion. The only thing I care about is that you're walking in the light. That's it. That's it. I don't want no. I ain't trying to have no dark energies running around there. And if I do, I'm kicking you out. Because I can discern you. I can pick you out. Now, it's over Zoom. There's the website. Just go to my website, Intercede for Humanity. Okay. Um, and there's a selection and whatnot. This link is down in the descriptions and everything like that. I want you to go there, sign up for it. You'll get the Zoom link. Okay. We're just going to be together for about an hour and we're going to do what we used to do in the church. Okay. We literally, hello, we did what we needed to do. Okay. We women folk got together and we started praying and interceding. So there you go. So that's what we did. Hey Joy. Hey Kevin, how are you, honey? Um, let's see, what do we got? Ottawa sees 4 cases a year due to well, right. No, that's not it, dear. Unvaccinated children have not likely caused the strain to strengthen and mutate. I want you to think about that. I studied biochemistry. Think about this. Think about this. If I don't have a vaccine in my body, then the normal, regular schmegular strain of whatever virus it is could potentially, if I've never had it, could potentially attack, right? Could potentially make me sick. Why? Because I do not have what a true immunization is it is an attenuated or dead version of a virus. Okay? A dead version that is non-replicatable. But you inject it into a human being along with some other stuff, and then the body's own natural mRNA then says, hey, this is what we got going on. The DNA says, okay, this is what we're going to do. And then the white blood cells go and fight it. So if I've never been vaccinated against it, the regular schmegular mumps running around here, it'd be able to infect me if I've never had it or anything. But if I've had it or I've had the vaccine, the virus is itself a living being. It is a living creature. It's a virus, but it is a living creature. And what do all living creatures at their base wish to do? They wish to survive. So if it runs into enough folks that have this version of itself coursing through its veins, so much so that the body's, oh, wait, I can recognize you. I know you. I know you. I know you. And it will attack it and it will kill it and you won't get it. But if you have an attenuated strain, it will then mutate so that it can survive the onslaught of your natural God-given immunity system. Biochemistry. Didn't think you guys would. So I just okay, wait. I think that they're talking about this resurgence of MUPS. Hey, Rosie. I think they're talking about this resurgence so that they can validate and verify certain other things. Anyway. All right, let's go. Mutation. Exactly. So just want to let y'all know. Okay, I've talked enough about stuff that I shouldn't have. So I'm going to turn on some music. I'm going to play my ending, and then we're going to come right back. We're going to go part 2. Hang on. All right. That was slick now, wasn't it? Okay, part 2. Here we go. Because I am going to split this up. Part 2. Part 1. So welcome everybody to part 2. Welcome everybody to part 2. Thanks, Kevin. Oh my goodness. So part 1, if you haven't seen it yet, part 1 we talk about the sun and the moon solely, what it's doing and some other things, okay? Part 2 we're going to talk about everybody else except for the sun and moon because there's the other players in the cosmos is doing some things. Oh, it's no apologies, Em. No apologies at all. I'm not upset at all. And no one else should be either. You're very welcome, Rosie. Rosie's talking about this. We did a podcast, guys, so I'm just minor detour. Podcast on Sunday with Shaman Iris Meyer. And you should be able to find that on the Sunday Soul podcast playlist here on YouTube. You'll be able to find that on Spotify, iTunes. Where else? I thought it was on iHeart already, but it's not. And Spreaker. Right now, we're waiting for the others to approve us. Okay. You're quite welcome. All right, here we go. So let's look at this now. Let's look at the other players, okay? Because I know y'all are like, woman, get to the gets. Get to the gets. Okay, here we go. So we know what we got going on down here now, right? We talked about this in the first. We got the solar eclipse, new moon, Mercury. Got it? Now, Mars is doing a whole lot. As the kids would say, Mars is doing the most during this solar eclipse. So I'm going to go around the horn. Mars is Mars is at home. Of course, it rules Scorpio. It is at home in Scorpio. It is about getting ready to leave Scorpio and enter into Sag. It will be crossing over the it'll be conjunct the south node, so kind of whatever you all like, whatever energies you reverted that you were just that was just like your norm, you're gonna want to go back there. So you know how some of us put certain people up on the shelf? Like there's a younger version of Lisa, excuse me, that I put up on a shelf and I leave her there. And I really try not to bring her back down. Occasionally, though, she may get dusted off and brought back because I might need her, you know, every once in a blue moon. Now, I really do try to leave her up on that shelf because she's not as high vibrational and she's not as ascended as the current version that you see before you. So I really do leave her there as much as is humanly possible. Okay? Now, um, so anyway, back to this. So Mars is going to then it's gonna be conjunct that south node as they're gonna be like two ships. I think it's gonna conjunct it as it's going into Scorpio. Oh, it's gonna be nasty. Anyway, but Mars is doing the most. It's agitating. Like it's in its last degrees of being at home. Like it's got a long trip before it gets back over there to Aries. If we're gonna go retrograde at a time or so, Annie, it's got a long way to get around that there corner. So this is last hurrah. So for a minute. So Mars is sextiling Venus and Pluto in Capricorn, which means you guys remember what sextiling means. That's like they're cousins. They're in agreement. Now, they might not be in total ride or die, like I'm going to ride up for you, even if you right, wrong, or indifferent agreement, but they're kind of cool. They're like, okay, I get it. Like, I'm with you. I'm in agreement. I'm still going to tell you where you book, on BS. But, here we go. So, Mars sextiling Venus. This can bring, if you're in a relationship with someone, it can end up bringing a renewed appreciation of one another physically and emotionally, especially if you decide to, have a little away time. Now, I'm not saying go out here and travel on this during solar eclipse, but if you happen to be somewhere, okay, you happen to be somewhere. Um, being single though, the lines between, well, not the thin line between love and hate. It's a thin line. Okay. Anyway, but the lines between affection and lust, however, can get a little bit blurry. Okay? So don't be confusing lust and love. Don't be confusing that. You singles ready to mingle, and be careful who you're mingling with. What's gonna happen is that basically anything with a heartbeat is good. I don't mean that in any harm. But what I'm saying is if you're single and ready to mingle or almost single or consider yourself single and just ain't filed the paperwork or whatever your situation is, I don't know, boo-boo. You do you. But you're going to find yourself, Gemini, you're going to find yourself attracted to anybody that like has like a really like they're fun and they're da, and you're going to think this is wonderful. I could be with them for the rest of my life. So just be careful, especially, you might be meeting these one night flings at if you're out and about, like at a party or something like that, a club, if you're going to the clubs. I don't care if it's the young clubs or the old clubs. If you're out there listening to some music, people look real good at the end of the night. You walked in, I woke up, right? You got the look. Mm. So there's a line in that song too by Prince. Closing time, ugly lights, everybody's inspected. But you are a natural beauty unaffected. In other words, you know how at the end of the night, I mean, this is what had used to happen with us. Now, and maybe it didn't happen with y'all. Y'all live these pristine lives, but it happened with us. At the end of the night, it'd be what they used to call them beer goggles, whiskey goggles, whatever she was drinking. Okay. So everybody looked real good at that point in time. So, anti-way. Moving right along. Okay. Be careful what you're doing, is all I'm trying to say. Don't be running around sleeping with people's. Because remember, solar eclipse, you setting some bad, you're intensifying everything and you're really setting a lot of things into motion. Very tempted. You're gonna be very tempted. Okay, very tempted to go have some good times. Mars sextiling Pluto. And see, this doesn't help that whole like lustful energy from Venus. She really doing the most. Like she basically is like, listen, my cousin is about to break me out of this here jail in Capricorn, and I'm fixing to sneak out, and we're gonna go have some fun. And Pluto is just like, girl, I've been trying to bust out too. I'm going with you. You know what I'm saying? That's what it's like. So you're gonna be stirred to take it action. Like it's basically from deep down within, it's gonna be like, I gotta do what I gotta do. Now, in a non-sexual romantic way, it could also end up being where you just know that this is something you've been born to do and you're ready to do it and you're ready to finally take action. Okay. You're gonna be willing to do whatever it takes to transform whatever your situation is towards your own benefit. It won't matter what somebody else would do or wouldn't do. You just gonna take care of it. Now, basically, it's one of those things where you've had enough though. Like you're so fed up with the status quo, whatever that status quo might be, that you just had enough. Whether or not it's like legitimate, like real, or it's imagined. So be careful that you're not like imagining this, because also what's happening is Pluto and Venus are sextiling Neptune, and Mars is trining Neptune. So there's a lot of like this illusionary stuff happening over here in Pisces in the sixth house. And that is still very, relationship, work, whatever, that kind of, right? Like it's the last of the personal houses. So it's like the last of what you have held to your own, right? To be like really important to you on a personal level. So your dreams, your aspirations, from it's going to run the gamut: career, love, whatever. So be very careful that you're not taking like you not decided this is an insufferable wench. I can't live with her no more. Or this is an insufferable. Oh, and I can't live with him no more. Like, be careful with that because this is a temporary transit. So you might be seeing things that aren't there or making a mountain out of a molehill. So be very, very careful is all I'm trying to say, beloveds. Okay, just be very careful. Um However, if you're finally making up the choice to finally make the change, there's literally nothing that's going to be able to stop you. You're not really going to be interested in compromise, and honestly, if it's legitimate where it's like you've already been compromising your ideals and you've already been compromising your morals, your moral compass, your integrity, your authenticity, then probably you shouldn't be doing that any longer anyway. And that's kind of where this trine with Neptune comes in at, is that it makes you very sensitive, but it also makes you very intuitive, and it makes you very willing to stand up for what is right and what is right for you. You're going to be willing to stand up for yourself rather than just kind of sitting back, okay? And just letting people kind of rip and run roughshod over you. Um, what might be the problem? Oh, also you will probably like this is a good time to do charitable work and stuff like that as well. Um, I would just say choose your battles wisely though, because Pisces and Mars, I mean Neptune and Mars trining is a very dangerous combination because literally it's like you're already peeping behind the curtain. You're already not trusting anything. You're already just like you're full of crap. And then basically Neptune is saying, "Yeah, absolutely. I've been holding their secrets for forever. And guess what? They've not been telling the truth all this time. But I've been in retrograde, but now I'm direct, so I'm going to snitch." You know what I'm saying? Or now the fog is clearing. I can see clearly now. The rain is gone. Right? I can see all obstacles in my way. Okay. So that's kind of what's happening here, right? It's clearing up. And so you just got to be sure that you're interpreting the tea leaves, as they say, correctly. Okay. The last thing Mars is doing is Mars is squaring Jupiter. Let me give this red. Oops. And then we're going to red here. Um, this is going to, considering the everything else that I literally just told you, this is going to give you like the utmost in confidence. Like usually, right, squares are like butting heads, but squares are also calls to action. Like I prefer to think of squares as calls to action rather than butting heads. It's challenging. It's like I double dog dare you to do it, right? So, so you're gonna be like uber confident, like just try not to bite off more than you can chew. Pay attention though to what is inspiring you towards new growth and new plateaus and new things. Like go on and do it and go on and add, go on and go towards that. So you are heading towards like this is a time period, especially with this new moon, right? And with the sun and Sag, period. But like this is a very ego driven moment. Like this is like well, I'm that. I'm all that in a bag of chips, and I know that. And Mars squaring Jupiter, especially in the placements that they're in, will definitely make you feel like you're all that in a bag of chips. And I'm not saying that you're not, because I feel like you are. Baby, you're a star, right? So I feel like you are. But I'm just warning you, be careful because you could like fall into like an unhealthy ego, right? There's a difference between, hey, I know who I am. Like there's a difference between that and like I know who I am and you can't tell me nothing and I ain't trying to hear what you got to say and you need to step it off. Even though I'm about to step off a cliff and you trying to stop me, okay? That's the difference. Um, this is really going to amplify your dreams as well and really I mean, it's a good energy to get you to get moving. I will tell you that. And growing. And you're probably going to be dreaming a lot more. Kitty, put your booty down. Dreaming a lot more about what is going to make you happy. I would also, if you whatever, come on, look to see what's in your 10th house or where you're lay down, lay down, or where you're like what sign your natal 10th house is, your MC. It's really going to have a lot of effect there, like how you're perceived. Like you're really going to seek to be sure that you are perceived in the best light that's possible. We talked about this one. Oh, Mercury square Neptune. We talk about that. So Mercury squaring Neptune. I don't know if we talked about that too much before, but this is really the time to kind of step out of just the day-to-day mundane and step into dreamland. This is the time for you to step out of the matrix and step into like Zion. Um and just kind of but let yourself wander. Like get some rest, let yourself wander, let your mind rest, and let your energetic body really take off and dream because dreamland is real. I work with someone whose company name is Dream Life is Real Life. She's on Facebook. Go find her. Facebook group, Dream Life is Real Life. And it's true. So when you can like shut your mind down long enough to realize that your dream life is actually your real life, because that's what your higher self is like, oh, this is my highest good, and we're gonna manifest that. That no, that's a really good thing. Um da 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 da. Um okay. What else here? Oh, Neptune. I think we talked about Neptune sextiling Venus. So that's really it's basically it's like Prince's erotic city. I'm really stuck on Prince. Can you tell? Like seriously? That's like this is a whole lot of Prince energy. Like I could literally go through all of his albums and give you a complete soundtrack to all these shenanigans. There's a lot of erotic energy rolling around down here. Rolling in the deep. A little Adele. But there's a lot going on here. So like listen, let me tell you something. If y'all ain't been getting any action, this is Action Jackson time too. Just be careful who you actioning with. Safe, safety first at all times. Do not step on my computer. She will turn it off. Okay. Okay, Saturn square Uranus is the one we have not talked about. I need to go to my chat and see what y'all are thinking about what the hell I've been saying here. Mass trouble shutting your mind off. Hey, Yanni. Feeling energy. I'm speaking. It's bad. It's bad. Like, I'm telling you, it is so bad. Okay, we're back. Let me go back to the charts. Okay. Um, Saturn square Uranus. Saturn down here. Squaring Uranus, and that's still in retrograde. You know, Uranus be hanging out in retrograde for forever. Um, especially with the placements where they are. This is like a global fight. This is a global like battle to evolve to where we wish to evolve to, where we know intuitively, instinctually we should evolve to and not be held down by fear and tyranny, right? Um it can feel like everywhere you turn is kind of booby trapped, or it's not like someone's out to get you at every turn. But and you want to break free like just as quickly as you can, right? What I'm going to say is this, is that there is actual transformation, like actual like sudden change that's waiting for you, waiting for all of us in our day-to-day lives. It's been put on pause a little bit, I think, so we can A, catch our breath a little bit, and B, I think so that things could be revealed. Remember, we've been talking about this like n- this Neptunian reveal, right? We've been talking about Mars, just like, Mars and Scorpionic energy is just like, oh, I'm telling. No, wait a minute. No, first I'm gonna hold it in my back pocket until it's the right time. Then I'm gonna bust it out on you because you full of ish, and I'm gonna take care of it, right? Like, but I'm gonna build my case, and then I'm gonna blow up your spot, right? So that's kind of the energy, right? Along with all of this rather erotic kind of, sensual, sexual energy, these undertones that are there. And this is kind of the primal basal like energy that's just, it's weird because it's permeating the entire consciousness because we've got this like floating around in like Aquarius and Sagittarius and like Pisces that are like collective consciousness, Capricorn, collective consciousness signs, really the last 4 signs. They're collective consciousness. Well, the zodiac wheel, if you think about it, what do Sagittarians do? They unite people, right? Hey, let's all party. Ah, right? Capricornians, it's like, oh, we're going to rule you. There's the moral compass. I'm going to rule you. Aquarius, what's for the greatest good of all? Right? And Pisceans are like, everybody live and let live. Just come on. We can live in harmony. Let's not dream and make it all better. Like, we can do this together. We could just chill, man. Right? Don't worry, be happy, man. Yeah. So all this energy is going on, and Mars is really instigating most of this, by the way. I will have you know. I am going to blame it on Mars. Um, so we've got this like Saturnian, what's the new and latest and greatest thing, and how can I liberate people, right? Through a complete restructure. That's going to be fourth house daily life kind of, right? Fourth house, like that's really going to be impactful at home and for families and things of that nature. And then you've got this disruptor in Taurus that just will not leave the house, will not go anywhere, keeps going in a retrograde, will not go. And is like, yeah, dude, I'm in this eighth house. And so I'm chilling. Let me rewrite. Remember, the eighth house is not just this house of hidden wisdoms, but it is also the house of other people's resources and contractual agreements, real estate and contractual agreements. So I would be looking for some very serious financial, on a very global scale, um, restructuring to happen. I would be looking for um, transference of like real estate. I would say that changing hands. I hope, what I hope is not going to happen is there is some sort of real estate market crash. I'm not trying to put that out in the air, in the cosmos. However, what I will say is there's going to be a major change. This is going to kick it off. I'm not saying on Saturday, right, overnight, but I am saying it's going to kick it off and it's going to affect us and structurally how we operate. Um, I'm not saying it's a bad thing either. I'm just saying it's a thing. We're going to have to stop assigning good or bad to things. I'm saying it is what it is. So day-to-day life once again will change. I feel like, and it's continuing to change, but I feel like there's going to be either new contracts written, so to speak, right? New agreements written, or old ones tossed out, or we come to a new understanding of how we should, contractually, how ruling bodies or large corporations should really be interacting with us. how we should allow ourselves to interact with them. I'm just spitballing, guys. We'll pull some cards tomorrow and see what I get. So it's squaring. Oh, I was right the first time. I don't know why I was thinking it's trying. Yep, squaring. I'm right. Okay. Yep. I think that's all my notes. So that's a kind of a, I mean, I guess I say the best for last. While we're all here down here partying like it's 1999 and everybody want to like drink tequila and let their clothes fall off, then all of a sudden we got this whole thing happening where the economic system and our day-to-day lives could very well change. Things are also ripe for a nice little UFO to pop up. Um, just saying, things are ripe for, aliens to show up. I mean, anything can happen. Anything can happen. So that's part 2. Jupiter aligning with Mars. Hang on, guys. Let me bring that up. Did I miss that? I think I talked about that, Gemini Rose. I talked about Jupiter squaring Mars already. That was a lot of transits ago. So we got Mars there. Oops. Okay. We got Jupiter here. Yeah, we talked about Jupiter squaring Mars. You're going to be very like, hey, I could do everything. I could do it all. Just be careful. Be careful what you wish for because you just might get it. Be careful you don't jump off a cliff. Be careful you just don't jump off a cliff, okay? But it's going to give you a lot of confidence and a lot of surety about yourself. And it's a good time to do new things. All righty. It's in the song. What song is that in? Oh, The Age of Aquarius. Oh. Oh. Girl, listen to me. I don't know, child. I don't know. All I know is, people are just, ooh, child, we just doing the most around here. I don't know what y'all is doing. Y'all cheerings is really acting up. Okay. I don't know. Auntie Husenheimer. Okay, well, I didn't put this disclaimer in the other one. Everything in this here video is opinion and interpretation, except for what I said about how attenuated viruses work in the body. Okay, that's fact. Okay, here we go. I'm going to say this again for part 2. For the end of part 2, Intercede for Humanity, Saturday, December the 4th at 1:15 p.m. Central. It is a private Zoom prayer meeting. I am assembling like we used to do back in the church. We used to call the women folk when we needed to intercede for something that was going on that was bigger than all of us. And so I'm calling all of you. I'm calling us in. We're going to come together. We're going to pray. We're going to meditate. We're going to do what we do, but we're going to be decent and in order. The only thing I ask is that you be of the light and that you be working of the light. There's a link down in the description below. You can go to heartofinspiration.net and then go over to the, on my site, there's a Intercede for Humanity tab. You can go there. By the way, I have put up as Jupiter aligns with Mars and peace will guide the planets and love will steer the stars. I love that. Yes, Rosie, it's after. Yep. It's right after, about a half hour or so after that. Half hour or so after. 45 minutes maybe. Okay, by the by, everybody, I have put up, I'm going to show this to you guys. I have put up the grid for, okay, here we go. I've put up the grid for the new moon. Oh, I don't want this one. So you can go over to my website, heartofinspiration.net. And I just want to show it to you really quick. Chrome tab. Nope, not that one. This one. Okay, so this is the grid this month. I went back to the seed of life because this is all about new beginnings, about embracing our new beginnings, about embracing our new selves and living as our new selves. So, the center stone this month is the focus stone is a clear quartz. And then I chose amethyst, pyrite, and rhodolite. Rondolite. How did I never say it right? Rhodonite. 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 So I chose all of those. Okay. It's color coded. You cannot mess this up. This one's going to be for helping you with clarity, abundance, and manifestation in all areas of your life. And then I do have it's a 3-pager. This is totally free. Go download it on my site. Okay. And then you can download this, print it off. You can use this grid, right? Put stones right on there. It's real cool. And then, here you have what the stones represent and why we chose them. Okay. So go over there. And that link to that is also down in the description box below. All right. All right, guys, I'm going to get on out of here. We are going to be live tomorrow, and I'm going to pull cards. I'm going to try to go live earlier in the day. We're going to pull cards for all signs. And then on the new moon, I'll have the new moon meditation ready to rock and roll for you guys on the 3rd. Peace, love, blessings, and joy be unto you today, tomorrow, and for all eternity. I love you guys so much. Namaste. Bye-bye.